Good morning, everyone. I'm about to start pretty soon. I'm just finishing a few things over here. Be right there. All right. Okay. Well, welcome, everyone. As I indicated in the description, today I am going to try to get Kubernetes installed on my Pi. Well, I actually have a Raspberry Pi cluster right here. Don't know if you guys can see it. The cables, power cords are a bit short, so that's why I can't get them any closer. But I have these 4 Raspberry Pis 4B with 8 gigs of RAM on each, and I've just installed a few minutes ago a brand new Ubuntu install. That was an Ubuntu server. Let me see. I'm gonna share my screen and show you what I did. Of course, I closed the Raspberry Pi image already. So Raspberry Pi image, and the one I chose was so other general purpose OS Ubuntu, and I decided to go for the 64-bit, so 20043 LTS. 64 bits. The reason why is that I will be using Java, and I know from past experience that installing Java on Raspberry Pi is easier if I try to use an ARM64 instead of the ARM 32-bit. So that's why I did that. I selected this, chose the storage and clicked on write, and that went pretty quickly for me. In about 5 minutes, everything was installed. So the goal for me here is, first of all, I am going to discover how to install Kubernetes on this cluster. And I will do this manually so that I know the ins and outs, and I'm probably going to take some notes as well, because I ideally would like to get to have some documentation about it and maybe share it with the world, because I'm pretty sure that I must not be the only person who tries to install Kubernetes on a Raspberry Pi cluster. And then after, what I am going to do is I'm going to try and see if I can automate this using Ansible. Because, if, like, for example, I've got a Raspberry Pi that dies on me, I want to be able to reinstall everything pretty quickly without having any problem. So at some stage, I will take everything that I did, and I will erase everything and try to recreate it using Ansible. So that's why I will need to be taking notes at first on how to do that. Regarding Kubernetes, so I did some pre-research. I'm not an expert by any means. I did some very quick research. Did a Kubernetes keyword search on Google and tried to find stuff. What I found is 2 recommendations. That is micro Kubernetes or micro K8S, which is what I'm going to try to install today. I also heard about K3S, which is provided by Rancher, which seems pretty nice as well. But I have to admit I'm a bit partial to Ubuntu based distribution, so I'm gonna do that. It's just that I'm not a Linux guru by any means, so Ubuntu is usually easier for persons like me. Yeah, that I think this is it. So yes, as usual, if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to interact. It's I'm going to be discovering stuff, and if you have pointers or stuff like this for me, that's going to be much appreciated. All right, so first of all, what I did. So right now, my Raspberry Pis have been created. I just created a brand new image from each and every one of them, and there is also I did manage to get them connected to my wireless network, and as you can see, I tried to ping my different Raspberry Pis. Oh yes, yeah, I forgot to mention that as well. I configured my DNS so that if I try to call pi1a.local, I'm gonna be redirected to 192.168.70.31. Same thing for pi 2, 32, 33, and 34. These are the IP addresses for my Raspberry Pis at the moment. So that I have a DNS server that should allow me to, I shouldn't have to configure the DNS server. That's really to make it easier. Also, at the moment, so I'm still waiting for my PoE switch. So PoE is Power over Ethernet, meaning that I don't know if you guys are aware, but you have a possibility with your Pis to, instead of having one power cord and one Ethernet cable, you can have power over the Ethernet, meaning that you just need to have one cable that provides both network connection and power, which makes it a bit easier. Right now, since I haven't received it, I'm going to be working with my wireless, which is not ideal from what I've been told. It's wireless is unreliable, but for testing purposes, that should be fine. I mean, I'm not going to try to do any performance or any stuff that should be too complicated, so I should be okay. But yeah, something to keep in mind just in case. Okay, so right now I am on. So I have these different machines and they are brand new. So what I'm going to do is, for the first time, I am going to try to SSH into my machine. So let's try to do SSH Ubuntu Pi 1a.local. Can't be established. Yes, let's do that. And the default password is Ubuntu, I believe. So Ubuntu. There we go. And I am being prompted for your password has expired. So current password is Ubuntu. Oopsie. And I'm gonna take a new password. Let's call it password anyway. When I do the reinstall for myself, I'm gonna use a different password, but right now I'm just gonna use the word password. Okay, so password updated successfully. I'm gonna try to log back in. PASSWORD. And yeah, system restart required. Okay, super optimized for small spaces. Okay, and they even mentioned micro Kubernetes. Cool. Okay, so 41 updates can be applied immediately. Good. Okay, so yes, I don't have any history right now. Let's do an K8S CPU to try to get more information about it. So yes, I've got 4 CPUs. I am using an ARM64 architecture, so that's pretty good. And I can never remember what is the command to get how much space I've got on this. So I'm going to use stop. Stop should give me how much space and what are the processes currently running. So yeah, I've got about 8 gigs, as we can see here, 8 gigs of RAM installed on this machine. So I've got, this is just one example of the 4 different supplies I have on this machine. Okay, good. So Control C, I want to exit this, and I found, because if we go on the Micro Kubernetes website, so give me a sec, let's do that. Micro Kubernetes, Micro K8S. Let's do that. Let's do a search. So if we go to microk8s.io, we have some information about it, so we can get it installed on Linux, Windows, or Mac. Right now, I'm going to go to the tutorials. And what is nice is we have this how to build a Raspberry Pi Kubernetes cluster using micro Kubernetes. So that is what I am going to be using. And then, as I said, I will try to adapt it to use Ansible. And again, I'm probably going to repeat it again and again, but I have zero knowledge about either. Well, I have some knowledge about Kubernetes, very basic one, mostly about the principles, not really some hands-on experience with it. And well, yeah, zero experience about Ansible, but I've been told that it's nice if we want to automate deployment. So that's, I want to make my life easier, and that's why I will be discovering it. Okay, so how to build a Raspberry Pi Kubernetes. Let's do that. So yeah, that looks very similar to what I have. What you'll learn: deploying Kubernetes, joining multiple deployments to form a cluster, managing the cluster, adding and removing nodes. So a 16.4, 16 LTS or later Ubuntu desktop. I don't have an Ubuntu desktop, but on my Windows subsystem for Linux, I do have an Ubuntu 20. So hopefully I should be fine. And anyway, well, desktop is probably just for the user interface, so there should be ways for me to work around this. Minimum of 2 Raspberry Pis. They need to be Pi 3B or later. So here I've got 4 Raspberry Pi 4B, so I should be okay. A micro USB power cable for each Pi. Okay, good. Check. I've got these red power cords, so I should be okay. USB powered supply. Okay, so that is already connected. A micro SD card per Pi. Yep, I was provided from Connecticut, sorry, with 128 gigs on each micro SD. Some basic command line knowledge. I should be fine. Okay, optional, a monitor with an HDMI interface. So worst case scenario, if we need that, I can probably share my connect directly to the Pi and share this. So that should be a check. HDMI cable, yes, check. Category 5.6 network cable for each board, but Wi-Fi setup is possible as well. I'm going to be using the Wi-Fi setup. USB keyboard. I do have this small little thing that I sometimes use when I need to get connected to my Raspberry Pis. So worst case scenario, I can be using this, and a cluster rack. Yeah, that's good. I've got this as well. Okay, good. So next step, building the cluster. So the cluster has been built already. So yeah, I've got something that looks similar to what we see on screen right now. So good. Next, set up each Pi. So each pi is going to need an Ubuntu server image, and you'll need to be able to SSH into them. Okay, so now they are pointing me to a different Ubuntu server. Okay, never mind. So I already have it installed. I should be okay. And yeah, I like that. Warning, micro K8S is only available for 64-bit Ubuntu images. So yeah, the basic, something you have to remember is that the basic Raspberry Pi OS is using a 32-bit version and not 64-bit. So this tutorial is not going to work with the out-of-the-box Raspberry Pi OS. There is a 64-bit version of the Raspberry Pi OS, and I think I actually have it somewhere. If you do a research on that, like, give me a sec. Oopsie. If I do a search on Raspberry Pi for OS 64 bits, we have different articles, and they point. Okay, so there we go. So on this link, you can find a 64-bit version of the Raspberry Pi OS. However, as of today, I think it's January 15th, 2022. This is still not. We still don't have any official version, so this is still considered as beta, and you might have some surprises if you tried to use this. So that's why I decided to go with the long-term support Ubuntu install. That should be a bit more stable. So I want to limit potential problems I could be facing when doing this install. Okay, so I was able to SSH into my machine, so I guess this should be fine. So installing micro Kubernetes. So follow this section for each of your Pis. Okay, once completed, you will have micro Kubernetes installed and running everywhere. Okay, so SSH into your first Pi, and there is one thing we need to do before we get cracking. We need to enable C groups so the kubelet will work out of the box. And to do this, you need to modify the configuration file boot firmware command-line.txt. Okay, so they do a sudo nano of command line dot, and we need to add this thing. Okay, let's copy this line. And so sudo vi slash boot. What was that? Firmware command line. So firmware. No, not config. That was cmd line. Yes. Okay, so I have this, and let's see what I need to do. I need to add the following options. Okay, so I'm gonna do an I to insert, and then copy everything, put a space. So I've got C group enable memory, C group memory 1, and everything else is the same. So then I press escape, column WQ, as we can see at the bottom of the screen. Well, I can see it, you can't. I've got this thing hiding it. Sorry about that. Saving, and okay, this one is check. So the full line for is Raspberry Pi. So I've got C group, yada 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 yada. So now save the file in order and reboot. So sudo reboot. Let's do that. Okay, so sudo shutdown -R to say restart or reboot, and I want to do this now. And yeah, okay, so it completed. I'm gonna try to log back in, and hopefully when the SSH server is back online, I should be able to connect. Might take a few seconds to do that. So far, so good. So let's see. In the meantime, I'm just going to take a look at what needs to be done afterwards. So then after, I need to do sudo snap install micro Kubernetes classic. Okay, let's copy this guy like this. and be ready for the, okay, connection refused. Let's try that again. Yes, P-A-S-S-W-O-R-D. There we go. Okay, so I can try to do this sudo snap install micro Kubernetes classic. Download snap micro Kubernetes from channel 122 stable. Hiya.
Casiris is now following.
Good to see you. Welcome. All right, so download snap micro Kubernetes. Okay, mount snap. Oopsie. You know what? Let me just make this a bit smaller so that probably you can take a look at this as well. Oopsie. So run install hook of micro Kubernetes snap if present. Okay. Start snap. That's good. So far so good. Everything seems to be easy enough. I'm pretty happy about it. Because very often on streams, you know, when you do things live, we tend to have some bad surprises. But yeah, no, I shouldn't be complaining because bad surprises are how we learn about stuff. So yeah, it's part of the game, right? All right, so run configure hook. Let's see. Yeah, micro K8S from Canonical is installed. Okay. Next, so yes, from Canonical installed. What Kubernetes version is this installing? Is a snap and will be automatically updated to newer releases. That should be fine for me. However, I can indicate, okay, no problems. Channels are made up of a track and an expected level of stability. Okay, so here, before going further, here is a quick intro to the micro K8 command line. So the start command will start or enable Kubernetes service. So my guess is that I will need to do that in a few seconds. Inspect will give you the status of the service. Good. And stop, well, stops everything. Good. You can easily enable Kubernetes add-on to enable kubedns. Okay, that will be useful when I need to get my stuff installed and to get the status of a cluster. Micro Kubernetes.kubectl cluster info. Cool. Okay. It's easy to use and come with plenty of Kubernetes add-ons you can enable or disable. All right. So let's try to do the micro Kubernetes start. So back here, micro Kubernetes start. Insufficient. Okay, let's try to do, so you can either try again with sudo or add the user Ubuntu to the micro Kubernetes group. I guess I will be doing this. Yeah, because, well, I don't want to do things as root all the time. So sudo user add. I like that they give us the instructions to run when we try to do that. Okay, so, okay, let's try that again. So micro Kubernetes start. Oh, reload the user group either via reboot or by running new group micro. Okay. So I need to do that. That will teach me to read that stuff until the end. What? Okay. I found that. So micro Kubernetes start. Run service command for service. Oh, nice. Let's see. Micro Kubernetes started. Ooh. Exciting. Okay, so then the next thing I want to do is inspect. Will give you the status of the service. So micro K8S inspect. Let's have a look at this. Copy and then paste. Okay, so I've got cluster agent running, container D running, API server, a lot of things. So cluster agent, container D, API server kicker, kubeloid, copy service argument to the final report table. Okay, so that creates a table. Okay, interesting. Inspecting app armor configuration. Wow. And I have a Taji set that contains everything located here. Oh, that is sweet. That is pretty cool. Okay. Maybe later. Well, I don't really need to take a look at it. And the stop command. Maybe let's keep it open for now, but that's always good to know. And you can easily enable or to get the status of a cluster. Yeah, let's try that. Micro Kubernetes, kubectl. Nope, not what I wanted to do. So that was micro K8S dot cube ctl, and then that was cluster info. Okay. Actually, I could resize it and put it. So cluster dash info. Cube is running at, okay, to further debug and diagnose cluster, use kubectl cluster info dump. Okay. All right. I guess this is it for this tutorial. Let's see the next one. So master node and leaf nodes. So now that you have micro Kubernetes installed on all boards, pick one is to be the master node of your cluster. Oh, okay. So I need to do that as well on my three other. I need to do the previous step on my. Okay. So I will need to do that as well on the other ones. So let's log out for a second. Exit, and now I want to SSH into Pi2A. So yes, so this one, the out of the box is Ubuntu, and yeah, Ubuntu password and password again. Okay. So let's try that. System restart required. Okay, I will do this in a sec. So setting up each byte, no, that really was the only one. So I needed to do this thing. Actually, instead of doing this modification again and again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this file, save it locally, and then SSH into it each and every time. So let's first let's do that. I'm sorry, Cassius. I'm still not familiar with Twitch, and I only just saw your message now. And yes, you're absolutely right. The fun part is fixing stuff when they break. Absolutely. That's how you learn stuff. So yeah. Okay, so yes, I wanted to do this sudo because I won't have the rights otherwise. So sudo boot, what was that again? Firmware command line.txt. So firmware cmd line.txt. I'm going to add, so I insert, I paste this. Don't forget to put a space between one and net. Escape, and then WQ to save everything. Okay, that is good. I am going to exit it for a second, and I will do an SCP because I want to copy everything. So I want to do an SCP of Ubuntu at pi2a dot local. So that's my DNS name. So that is the machine I want to copy it from, and I want to copy this. So hopefully that should work. Command line. And then I want to save it locally, so dot. So the password is password. And that way I should be able to just copy it back whenever I need it. Okay, so let's go back into my Ubuntu password. Okay, so I've got this. I need to restart, and then I will do the sudo snap. Okay, so sudo, they say reboot. I can try that. Okay, connection closed. I just wonder if when I will try to copy it back, since I need to sudo about it. Keseros, you're absolutely right. To SSH copy ID, I will be creating certificates. However, I think I will be doing it when I work with Ansible. So that's the idea would be with Ansible. I will be creating one certificate, and we'll try to automate this SSH copy ID afterwards. I think that's I did some reading about because I wasn't sure if I should be using Ansible, Terraform, or there are like 100 different versions of deployment tools, and there were quite a few tutorials about how to run Ansible with SSH and so on. So I will be doing this when I get to Ansible. But you're absolutely right. That way I won't be making any mistakes when I do. When I type my password, that's going to make my life much easier. You're 100% right. It's usually what I do right now. Right now, I just did the first install, and I'm still discovering stuff. But when I will be automating everything, I will be creating certificates to make my life much easier. Okay, so password, and you know what? I will even deactivate password access so that I need to be physically there if I wanted to access it without the certificate. Okay, so 41 updates can be applied immediately. I will be doing the sudo snap install. Okay, so copy this and that again. And since this is being installed on one machine, I'm going to do the same. Can I create another? How do I do that? You know what? I've got PuTTY. I'm going to use PuTTY instead. So I'm going to use Ubuntu at pi3a.local. You know what? Let's load everything. So that was from when I only had one Pi. So Ubuntu at pi3a dot local. I'm gonna save it as pi3a so that I can use it later. Save. Let's make sure that I have, I've got my keep alive, so that should be fine. I'm gonna do an open accept. So this one I haven't done anything, so I'm gonna do that. Ubuntu, yep. Password, yes. Password, cool. Okay, got disconnected, normal. So let's reopen that. Okay, password. And yes, okay. Okay, so I'm going to try. Ah, shoot. Because I don't. I well. So install micro Kubernetes classic. Check. And that is it. I might want to do a micro K8 start on this one. Yeah, and again. So I'm gonna just take a note here. I need to. So after and of course my pen doesn't work. So I'm gonna need another pen. I need to remember that. So I need to do a sudo snap install micro K8S dash classic. So that is good. And then after I need to do the sudo user mode dash a dash capital G micro K8S Ubuntu. Okay, so let's do that. I'm gonna. No, Caceres, yeah, that's a very, very good, very good point, and I do appreciate the backseat. That's why I've put backseat allowed, or should have. Yeah, it's I do really enjoy having some advices, and you're absolutely right. I should be getting something. To be frank, I'm not using my. This is not my professional laptop. I usually have another laptop that has a few more things installed on it. So yeah, I'm right now I'm just using my. I'm using my streaming laptop. It's yeah. So hang on. So sudo change owner dash f dash r Ubuntu and then the dash cube. Okay. So I have this and copy. Yep. So micro Kubernetes, Ubuntu. Okay, and I needed to bounce the machine, which I'm gonna do right now. Cool. So this one should be fine. So I want to SCP, that was CMD line, and I want to do that to Ubuntu at pi3a.local. I want to give it a try right now. It's probably going to fail because I think this is a protected file, but I still want to give it a try. So that was boot firmware slash, that should be it, right? Since the file has the same name, so let's give it a try. Are you sure you want to be connecting? Yep. The password. You know what? As a software developer, you are the godsend here, because yeah, infrastructure is like a foreign language to me, and that's I'm trying my best, but I'm probably not doing things the proper way. Okay, so SCP permission denied. That makes sense because usually what I need to do is if I go back in here, that's why I do a sudo and not just a nano, because probably out of the box I don't have the right to write on this file. So I need to find a way to do that. And probably Caceres, since we're talking about infrastructure, what would you do? Would you copy the file to, like, I don't know, the home folder and then do a SSH remote command to move this. It's kind of I'm kind of not sure how to do that. What would be the best way to do this? So I could be trying to do an SSH into my home folder. So yep. Okay. And then I need to I need to copy this file that I just added to its location. So how do I do? I think I remember that in SSH we can execute a remote command. So execute a remote command with SSH. Okay. So SSH user host command. Okay, sounds easy enough. Let's give it a try. So SSH Ubuntu at pi3a.local, and the command that I want to run is going to be sudo mv of my cmd line.txt into boot. What was that again? Firmware. Okay, not sure if this is gonna work, but that's worth giving it a try. Failed to preserve ownership. Operation not permitted. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, if I could avoid SSH as a root, I probably would. So fail to preserve ownership for boot firmware command line txt operation not permitted. Okay. Okay. Which is actually a pretty good point. So what is so let's SSH into the machine and try to see. So I want to do so ls-l of no, that was cmd. Come on, cmd. No, did I? Okay. Let's do an ls-l of boot firmware cmd line.txt and 346. Okay, so that was not modified. Oh, what time is it now? Okay, that was modified 4 minutes ago. So it might actually be good. Let's open it. vi of boot firmware cmd and I probably need to do sudo head. Oh, that's that. Okay, so I had an error message, but that was still modified. And you may need to chown that file to the same owner as the original first. Very good point. So let's take a look at what was the original owner. And to do that, I'm going to log out of this one. And connect to Pi4 to try to see what was the original owner. Oh, I probably had a Pi4a already. Do you want to continue connecting? Yes. Ubuntu. So the current password is Ubuntu and the new password is going to be password. Oh, must have made a mistake. So let's try that again. Okay, I will need to get rid of this thing at some stage. So Ubuntu. Password. All right. Oh, that is annoying. So password, and I want to do sudo ls-l of boot firmware cmd line. So this one is root, so same user as the previous one. I don't know why it was complaining. Oh. Okay. So root 141 August 19th 1041. Okay. So all right. So I want to SCP my file locally. Well, oopsie. I want to do this for Pi4 and not Pi3. Okay, password like that. Everything's been copied. And then I wanted to do an SSH on Pi4 and not Pi3. Before I do that, I might want to check what is it probably trying to create the file as Ubuntu. Yeah, accept. So ls-l, yeah. Okay, so that's why. So now I'm trying to copy a file that belongs to Ubuntu into something that belongs to root. So here I will need to do a sudo chown. So I want to change the owner to root on cmd line.txt, and if that works, so that's why I'm putting this, and then I want to move this into the proper location. So let's give it a try. Yes, password, and it did not complain this time. Okay, good. I'm just going to open a text file to save everything because I will need that. Notepad++. And so the first one I want to copy is this SCP. So paste, and then the second one is this. Okay. Why is it on a different line? Okay, so now I've got this. I copy my command line.txt onto the other one, and then I copy it from my home folder. Well, I change the owner to root, and then I copy it to boot firmware. And thanks again, Cassius. I use your trick, so that seems to be working. Thank you so much. Okay, so I did that, and the next thing I want to do is I want to go and run. So I had this. Where is it? Sudo snap install micro Kubernetes classic. Let's try to do that. So here, sudo snap install micro Kubernetes classic. I think I need to bounce this machine first. So let's try. I'm gonna try to do kind of the same thing here, and I probably can make this simpler afterwards. So sudo reboot, and then I want to do, okay, so let's try to do this reboot remotely on Pi 4. That is annoying the heck out of me. So in the meantime, I'm gonna do a vi .ssh of known host. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna try to find my different pies. You know what? I'm actually going to delete everything. Like that. Okay. So SSH sudo reboot. It's probably rebooted now. So let's try to connect to this one. Yes. Password. Okay, and I need to do my sudo's. No. So the next one was this one. Okay. And I don't remember. Did I do? Yes, I think I did that on. I did that on the. Oh, this one is okay. Never mind. I think I did that on the 3, but I am still going to take a look at the history on the 3. So I checked, but nope. I made sure that the command line was changed, but I didn't. I don't think I even sudo reboot just to be sure. And anyway, it was telling me system restart required. Oh, very good point. You know what? Let me add it as well. So so here I guess I could make this into one same thing, sudo reboot, but before that I might want to do sudo apt get update and then sudo apt get upgrade -y like this, right? So that should copy my command line, change the command line. And I'm actually going to put that onto a different command just for myself so that that separate things a bit. That's okay. So on this line, I copy my command line. Here I change the owner and move it to the proper location. Then I do an update and an upgrade and restart the machine. And then on the machine, so that is on the machine. Okay, and that is on my deployment. Oops. Deployment box. And on the remote machine, like that. So where okay, so this one has been installed on, so that was 4. And this one is inactive, so let's do a restart session. Okay, and I am going to do so I'm going to try that. Copy. Just to make sure that this command works. And Caceres, do you think I should do a dist upgrade as well, or just a regular upgrade should be enough? And actually, I'm going to do that on the other one as well, since it seems to be working. Okay, can I create a new separate session? I'm going to do that on the one. Okay, and same thing, this one on the 2. Okay, and I probably should change the host names, because right now they are all called Ubuntu, which is a bit confusing. Okay, thanks for the pointers, Kuseris. I'm just gonna keep it like this then, and be sure that everything is up to date. Okay, so that seems to be, everything seems to be upgrading. Okay, I wonder, can't I? Okay, never mind. Because on my work machine, I have something to some window manager that allows me to move them into specific corners of the screen. But on this machine, I have to do it myself. So let's recap. Da, da, da. It is taking some time. Fluent. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna note this because that might be useful for me. And Fluent is what, like an SSH client, or is it something else? Terminal application for Windows. Okay, that's okay. I wrote this down. CMD, the Windows Linux subsystem, PowerShell. Oh, now I'm curious. All right, let's see. Fluent, Windows, I guess. Is it the one? Special sites, simple task manager? Nope, probably not. Um, Fluent terminal on, okay, on the Microsoft Store. Yeah, let's go to, and if I click on, okay, open Microsoft Store. Okay, I am installing it, starting downloads. Meanwhile, so the installs are still going on the Pis. I hope that my internet connection is going to survive because I've got so many things going on at the same time. I don't know how much of it is going through the network. I've had problems in the past, so that's why I'm a bit anxious about it. All right, so let's open Fluent and PowerShell. Okay. New tab, remote connect, quick launch, and I like my whistle. Okay, can I? So an error occurred mounting one of your file systems. Please run tmess from more. Okay, and disconnect it. Ah, seriously? Okay, can I? Oh, because I've got whistle open already. Yeah, makes sense. I will just wait for this one to be done, and I will close it afterwards. Whoa, there was a lot of things to install. Okay. I, s- I, I am wondering how. So when I connect to so I'm thinking about the next steps, and I have Ansible. So Ansible will try to connect to my remote machines. But if I have a brand new install, the first time I try to connect, it will prompt me to change my password. So I wonder if I can do this with Ansible or not. That would be worth giving it a try. I guess we'll cross this bridge when we get there, but I might need to get my my image up to the point where it prompts me for my for a new password. And I will enter some. So the idea would be to get Ubuntu installed on my SD card, configure everything so that I can connect to my network, to my wireless network. And then once everything has been installed on my wireless network, change the password, save this image somewhere, and then burn the image to any new Raspberry Pi I want to run. Okay, that might work. All right, so this one was, I'm going to do an ifconfig because they have different IPs. Oh, and of course I don't have installed. Do I want to? Let's do an exit. And so that was Pi 4. So now, new window, whistle. Yes, still doesn't work. Dang it. Can I do a new tab, remote connection? So that will be Ubuntu at pi4a.local on 22. Now that seems to be working. Cool. Password. Mosh. I have zero idea what Mosh is. So let's try. So new tab, remote connect. I'm going to uncheck Mosh. And the user is going to be Ubuntu at pi4a.local. Okay, so I am connected and that is prompting me for a system restart. Can I change the name or something? Edit title, Pi4. Cool. Okay, can I do a sudo reboot on this one since I've got a system restart required? Yeah, but it closed it. Dang it. Okay, let's do a sudo reboot on all of them just to be on the safe side. And sudo reboot. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, it opens a PowerShell. Oh. So Fluent. So by default it opens PowerShell. Okay, good. Oh, I like that. Is it going to try to connect to Pi4? Okay, I guess I will be discovering Fluent some other time. All right, so I did my upgrade, I did my reboot, and so now I need to do the sudo snap install micro Kubernetes classic on all of them. Let's try to run this command remotely then. So I can do that. Sudo snap install micro Kubernetes classic. Okay. I will try to do that. So on Pi 4, 3, and 2, and I did it on 1, I believe. Okay, so no, not this. Let's do it on whistle. So here I want to do sudo snap install micro Kubernetes. Connection refused. Oop. Okay, let's try some other machine. Hopefully. So Pi3 seems to be responding. Okay. Let's try to do that with Pi2. So Pi2 is responsive as well. I did the install on Pi1, but I want to try that again. Just to see if I try to reinstall something that is already installed. Am I going to get like an error message or something? I'm curious about it. Yes, and then is already installed. Sweet. Okay, let's try with Pi4 then. Why is Pi4 not answering? Oh, there it is. Okay. Micro Kubernetes is already installed. Okay, I must have installed it previously then. So Pi. Okay, installed. And already installed. Okay, cool. Alright, so far everything I can do remotely from my deployment box. So that is great. I could probably start them. Back to the tutorial. Where is this window? I've got too many windows open everywhere. Okay, so what version? We could do micro Kubernetes start. Okay, good. So master node and leaf nodes. So I have now that you have micro Kubernetes installed on all boards, pick one to be the master node of your cluster. So I'm going to keep one as the master node. On the chosen one, run the following command: sudo micro kubernetes .add node. This command will generate a connection string in the form of master IP port token. Okay. Oh, hang on. I completely forgot. If I want to do, because right now, like for example, on Ubuntu 3, there were two commands I needed to run again. If I try to do micro K8S .start, I'm going to be prompted to say that I don't belong to the proper group. Yes, so I need to do that as well. So back to my list of commands, I'm going to use this, Control C, Control V. And then I want to do, so first I want to do this one. And then if it succeeds, I want to do that one. Oopsie. And finally, I want to do yet another reboot. Okay, so let's try that. Exit. Oh, no, I want to, come on. Oh, that's because I had a line break. So copy and Control A to go back here. I want to change this from 4 to 3. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with 2. And I don't think I did that on 4 just yet. Okay, good. So now on 1, I need to do that. And it will generate a connection string. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. So I need to be able to save this connection string somehow. So when I want to automate it later, I need to find a way to. Okay, let's run it on the machine and see what I'm getting out of it. Let's close these and SSH into Ubuntu at pi18.local. Okay, and so it tells me I can do that. Sudo from the node you wish to join to this cluster, run the following micro Kubernetes with this thing. Okay, one of the following. Okay, so I currently have just this one with the current IP, so I'm going to replace it with pi1, 25,000, and then this thing. Is micro Kubernetes, do I have status or something? I just want to see if it is on or off. How do I do that again? There was a quick summary at the end of this one to say inspect, enable. I'm going to try micro Kubernetes status. Maybe it's going to give me something. Micro Kubernetes status. Does it work? It's not complaining. Okay, it is running. Cool. And currently I only have the high availability cluster configured. So I need to find a way to copy this and then pass it to my other nodes. Okay. That is going to be interesting. I wonder how I'm going to do that. All right, so let's run this. So SSH Ubuntu at pi2a.local. Okay, and I want to run this. Contacting cluster. I wonder if I can reuse the same token between the 3 different machines, or if I have to do that again and again for each machine so that each one has a different token. So contacting cluster, yeah, the cluster is still, it should be responsive, right? Yeah. Waiting for this node to finish joining the cluster. Okay, okay, so it probably managed to connect to the cluster 1. So let's try now to open 3, and on this one I will try to run the same token. So SSH Ubuntu at pi3a.local. All right, and let's try to run the same command with the same token. I wonder if I'm going to get an error message. Connection failed, invalid token. Okay, so I need to do that I need to run the same command for each node of my cluster. Huh. So let's micro Kubernetes add node. I don't need the sudo in front of it, do I? Huh. Okay. Yes, I do. Okay. I thought that since I had the proper permissions, that would work, but it does not. And now I'm going to do the same thing again, but this time with Pi4. Okay, password. So I need to get a new token for Pi4. I wonder how I can automate the token generation and retrieval on Ansible. I guess I will be doing some experiments afterwards. So Pi2 succeeded. Pi3 and Pi4 are still going on. Okay, Pi3 just completed. Okay, let's go back here. So master node and leaf nodes. We should be able to see the new node in a few seconds on the master with the following command: kubectl get node. So this one is one. Oh, but since they are all called Ubuntu, I'm gonna have a bit of a problem, I guess. Oh, I should have changed the host name before. Dang it. So back here. So change host name, and then for each node on the master, I need to run. So what was it that I needed to run? Sudo micro K8 add node, and then on the node I need to do copy the command generated on the master. Okay, so how do I change the name? the host name. Because host name, if I type host name, that gives me the host name. Yeah. Probably there must be something. There must be a way for me to change the host name. Set name. When called with one argument or with the file option, the command sets the host name other. Okay. So note that only the super user can change the names. Good. So if I try to do sudo host name pi1 and I try to do, oopsie, no, host name, it tells me pi1. Okay, let's try to exit and connect back and try to see. So, and yes, it says pi1. Good. All right, so I need to do that. Sudo hostname and then the thing. So let's go back to my notes. SSH Ubuntu at pi4a.local. And then I will want to run this thing. So pi4 in this case. Okay. So now it has a different name. So hostname sudo hostname da da da. So I guess I will be doing this on the other ones as well. So that one was pi2. Okay, pi2. I'm going to do an exit and connect back. Okay, pi2. I will be doing the same thing. So this one should be pi3. Pi3, yes. So sudo pi3 exit. I mean, I guess I could. There should be a way to refresh the prompt. But it's probably faster for me to just exit and connect back. And this one is pi4. Okay, so now when I connect, I know which ones are my different machines. Let's try to bounce pi2. I'm going to do the same with pi3 and pi4 because I want to know if they're going to try to connect back to pi1 out of the box without me having to do anything about it. I would expect it to, but I don't know. Okay, SSH, still nothing. Let's do a Control C, try to connect again. Connection refused. It's still not connected just yet. Refused. Oh. Is it on? Ping pi2a.local. Destination host unreachable. Okay, maybe it still hasn't connected. That is taking quite some time to connect back. It usually goes faster. Oh, I'm gonna take my phone to try to see what are the current machines on the let's see. So do I have on this machine, on this network, sorry. Oh, there it is. It seems to be back now. I didn't have to do anything. That's good. All right, so Control C. And I'm connected. Okay. But it's back to be called Ubuntu. Dang it. How do I, so man host name. I want to persist the name so that it's oh, yeah. Again, note that this is effective only until the next reboot. Dang it. So edit etc hostname for permanent change. Got it. So let's have a look at etc hostname. I guess I need to do a sudo vi /etc host name. Got it. Okay, so I need to change it to pi2. Okay. And how can I modify this? Oh, let's try sudo echo pi3. I'm just for a second. I'm just gonna call it pi3 to etc host name. Is it gonna, no, permission denied. So how can I modify this file remotely through an SSH command? How could I do that? Let's try sudo to hostname. And then I want to copy, so chown, sudo chown. That is kind of similar to what we did at the beginning with Caceres. So sudo chown root of hostname, and then sudo mv hostname to etc. And so now if I do a head of etc host name. Oh, does it? Cool. And yes, so it did it. So I'm still gonna keep it as a note for myself for later, just in case that doesn't work. But Ansible allows me to do that. That is awesome. Okay, so head, and I want to do. So I'm gonna change these. So sudo echo pi2 into. Oh, come on. Host. Dang it. I wonder if there's something like dyslexia for typing. Okay, and then I want to do this move like that. And if I do head, it's back to that. Okay, so I'm still gonna keep that in my notes, but that should be okay. So change host name, and I am so there should be a module with Ansible to do just that. Okay, I'm still gonna save it on the desktop for my notes. Kubernetes nodes like that. Okay, so I will need oh, and I need to bounce it afterwards, right? So that it gets applied and read at the beginning. And sudo reboot. I am rebooting these machines so many times. Okay. So that was pi2. Sudo reboot. Okay, I'm gonna leave it aside for now. And here I want to do the same thing for 3. Okay, that seems to have worked. And finally 4 was the one I wanted to do. So let's wait for pi2 to be back online. I'm going to do the same thing here. Oh, did I? Shit. You're absolutely right. God dang it. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that is what happens when you try to be too clever. So I'm gonna wait for it to be back online. And I'm just gonna, so yeah, that one was pi 4. So pi 1, what does pi 1 looks like now? Oh, and I will need to do that on pi 1 as well, right? I'm just gonna do this manually because pi 1 is slow. Okay, pi 2 is back online. I'm gonna do a ping pi3a down to local to see when it's back. Okay, it is back. So hopefully this one. Oh, is it already back? That was fast. So I've got pi3. Connection refused. Okay. So ping. Okay. Ping 3 for whatever reasons was working before and it's not working again. Probably took some time to go down. This one is probably, yeah, password. And I'm gonna say ping pi4a dot local. Okay, so pi3 is back. And it's called pi3. Good. Pi4 is taking some time. So the server was unable to return a response in the time allotted. So now I've got pi1, pi2, Ubuntu, and pi3. That's good. I see what are my different nodes, and Ubuntu must be the old one of them. So destination host unreachable. Fair enough. etc host because it's now loopbacking into the wrong host name. Oh. Oh. Would you know if, so let's take a look. etc hosts. I don't, okay, so that is probably going to be a stupid question, but I don't see any mention of I of IP2 or Ubuntu in the etc host, so that should be okay, right, Scacerus? I don't really need to modify etc host, do I? So in the meantime, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 is still not back online. Oh, it is. Okay. And so pi4, okay. Okay, yeah, because you're right. If instead of 127.0.0.1 localhost, and then I would expect to have something like Ubuntu next to this, and indeed I would need to change the name if it was still referencing Ubuntu here, but it's not. So I should be okay, I guess. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so my 4 nodes are connected. Sweet. Next step. So get node, you will need to do that on the master, copy the output that run on the leaf. Okay, if I want to remove a node on the master, so sudo macro, I'm going to do that, but to remove the old Ubuntu node that is no longer there, removal failed, node Ubuntu is registered with DQ lights. It's not available anymore and will never attempt. We can try with a false flag, which is what I'm going to do. So remove node -- force. Okay, so that's remove node Ubuntu -- force. Okay, so now if I try to do get node, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it. Sweet, 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 sweet. I think I forgot to modify etc host name on that one. Oh, sudo vi and not iv. Ah, dang it. So this one is going to be pi1. Okay. How to build. So if I want to leave, I can do this micro kubernetes.leave. Okay, good. Next, that's it. Okay, yeah. Sure, why not? Okay, so I guess I've got Kubernetes running on this machine. I don't even know how to launch a pod or something. I mean, I did that in the past. I don't remember how to do it. Is there? Okay, let's go back to the tutorials. Do I have so getting started on Ubuntu core? Yeah, no. VirtualBox M1 in recovery mode. Install the looker. So that was the one I was trying to do. Create your first snap. I don't speak Polish, unfortunately. I really like Ubuntu and all the resources they have. Okay, topic micro Kubernetes. Oh, self-healing Kubernetes deployment with micro Kubernetes. So install and configure micro Kubernetes. That was what we just did, I think. Add node, yes. With that, yes. Enable add-on. So now let's, okay, this one seems, we even seem to have some Nginx deployment at the end. I like that. Let's continue with this tutorial. Okay, so enable micro Kubernetes high availability, sweet, and I want to do that. So micro Kubernetes enable DNS storage and Portainer. Okay, guess I will need to do that on Pi1, probably. Enabling DNS, applying manifests. Restarting kubelet. Configuring node. Okay. I like that it seems to be configuring nodes, and we see Pi 2, 3, and 4 being updated as well. Restarting nodes. Why not? And so when this is done, you can now navigate to node port service on port 30777 to log into the Portainer dashboard. For the first login, we are prompted to create a user, and after we can use the different features of Portainer. Okay, I don't know what Portainer is, but I will give it a try as soon as so hopefully when everything is back online. good. Yeah, I like to have an easy life, so if Potainer is a GUI management, I'm all for it. Storage will be available soon. Oh yeah, so that is so light that storage is not even enabled by default. That is interesting. Enabling Portainer. Okay, so let's try to open pi1a.local, and the port was 30777. Okay. Oh, pi1 is not ready. I wonder why. pi1 took too long to respond. Oh, funny. Do I need to do a micro K8S dot stop on this one? I want to stop for services. Okay, trying to stop. I wonder why it's not ready, because I am on this Pi. Okay, stop. Maybe with a restart now. Okay. kubectl get all namespaces. Okay, so as soon as pi1 allows me to type something, yeah, okay. So micro kubectl get all dash dash all dash namespaces. Oop, namespaces. Oh, so that shows me everything. Core DNS, kube controller. Portainer app. It is pending, right? That's this one right here. Portainer pending. Okay, so Portainer is still pending. Do I have a way to take a look at the logs for this? Anywhere? Because right now I see that it should be redirecting 30777, but also I just restarted Portainer, so that would be the reason why. Okay, and here I've got this thing here, Portainer and available 0. So how do I see the logs So kubectl logs and the pod name. And the pod name is Potena, I guess. So that's the namespace and that's the pod name. Okay, so I wanted to do micro K8S kubectl logs and the pod name, as we said, is this. Okay. Pods Potena not found. And instead of doing all namespaces, can I do like, no, only one resource. I thought that was the name for my. So logs, do I need to get rid of the pods? Terraform server not found. So expected logs dash f dash p pod type name dash c container. What if I try to do Potena? No. Micro gate cube color and pod, I don't know, list all name spaces. No, that's not what I wanted to do. How do I list all my pods? List pod? No. Kubectl ls as on Linux? Nope. Okay. Okay. Kubernetes list all pods. Kubectl get pods. Okay. Where is it? So kubectl get pods. Oh, kubectl describe pods pod name. So let's try that. Describe pods pod name. Get pods and then -o wide. So that is in the default and all namespaces. Okay. All dash namespaces. Okay, so that, and it is terminating Potena. The heck. And I've got another one running. Okay. Okay. That is the nice thing about Kubernetes. It's probably discovered that the first Potena pod was down or sick or whatever, and it's killing it and it's now running another one. Okay. So let's try to do this. So pi1a local on 30 777. And Hopefully this time, since I have a running pod, that should be working. Oh, and no, you need to enter the Portainer pod name. What is the pod name? Is it Portainer? Okay, so this one's still not working. Back to the board. So describe pods, Portainer. So this one, I guess. Not found. The heck? Get pods, all name. And so I have one that is terminating, the old one. And I have the other one that is running. Or should be running. So kubectl describe pods and that one. I thought that was the pod name. Okay, so what am I missing here? And I find it weird that it takes so long for this Portainer to go down. Well, it's still saying terminating when everything should be terminated already. I mean, so I have one deployment for Portainers. That is correct. This one is a redirect, so a node port. That is correct as well. And that one is my pod. And it is running. So the only thing that looks a bit weird is this one, as far as I can tell. So I've got this cluster IP, kubedns, Portainer here. So how did I did add, I'm just going to disable Portainer for a second and re-enable it. Disable Portainer. Maybe for whatever reason there was a problem with the deploy. I really wonder what is. Try accessing it from one of the other nodes if it still doesn't. Oh, yeah, good idea. So yeah, right now it's probably not going to work since I'm disabling it, but yeah, that's a very good point. Like Pi2. And theoretically, since I'm using high availability, I should be able to just disconnect Pi1 and try this from any place. I might actually, let's that is taking quite some time. I wonder how solid micro Kubernetes is, meaning that if I'm trying to disable on Pi1 and I try to enable on Pi2, I mean, I'm looking for trouble here, but I wonder if Pi1 is not having some problems right now. Should I maybe bounce Pi1? Let's see. So that was micro K8S dot status. Oops, not stats, but status. So I'm running the status on Pi2. Even Pi2 seems to be having some problems. Okay, so Portainer has been deactivated on Pi1. Just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna bounce Pi1. Okay, and the micro Kubernetes status on Pi2 seems to be taking quite some time. Why is it so slow? Is it micro gate status on Pi3? Oh, Pi3 is taking some time as well. Okay, so Pi1 seems to be back online. Oh, and now that it is back, so enabled, I've got DNS, and it says Portainer is enabled. The heck? Is it still? It says that Portainer is enabled. What the heck? Okay, I don't get it. So it's did I sudo reboot and disabling Portainer, and it didn't do anything afterwards. Okay, let's try to disable that again. Maybe this time it's going to. Disabling Portainer, yeah. Come on. interesting how long that takes. I wonder if it's because of the pi or something else. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I'm really wondering about it. Could it be because I'm using the Wi-Fi, do you think? I wonder if it has to do with the communication between the nodes and the fact that I'm using Wi-Fi, so that's why it is a bit slow. But still, it's incredibly slow. I mean, I do have a what's the name again? I do have a switch, an old switch that I can probably use and connect. You know what? I'm gonna have a quick break and I'm gonna go downstairs because the switch is downstairs. I'm gonna go and get the switch and try to connect it, uh, plug all the pies and see if that makes any changes. I I will be right back. I'm just gonna leave this for a few seconds and be right back. Okay? Okay, I'm just gonna plug it in. Okay, so status. That is kind of weird. So anytime I try to disable Portainer and every time it says that this is still enabled. That doesn't make any sense to me. And what if I try to do an ifconfig? Oh, okay, let's install NetTools. So the wireless LAN and Ethernet is currently not connected. Oh, do I need to connect the switch to the rest of the network? I probably do. Give me 1 sec. Okay, so that is connected to the network. Then you might need to re-add the nodes to the clusters as the IP might change. Absolutely. Yes, you're right. So what was that again? That was add. I should have done a history and then pipe and grep add node. So it is okay, 79 is the Ethernet. Okay, so I will need to do that. Um, let's do this on Pi 2. Connection failed. Okay, joining node is already known to DQ lights. Oh yeah, because I'm connected both on Wi-Fi and Ethernet. Oh, okay. So what was the command again? So add node, and there was another one to exit. Oh, that was on the other tutorial. Where is it? Without the force, it's going to tell me I can't do that, and it will give me the command. Oh, okay. That was remove nodes by 2. Oh, it did remove. I thought sudo micro K8S list nodes or nodes. Uh, was it status then? No, status is the one. Oh, kubectl leave. Okay. So dot kubectl leave. Nope. Okay. I'm going to open the other tutorial we did use earlier. Where is it? Raspberry Pi, I think, was the one. No. No. Micro K8S leave. Okay, let's try that. Don't apologize, Caceres. You know, your help is so precious right now. You have no idea. Okay, that seems to be working. I'm gonna do the same with 3 and 4. So micro K8S leave and leave. Okay. I'm still curious where. So that was micro Kubernetes tutorials. That was the one. Okay, master node and leave nodes. And then there was this sudo micro remove. Okay. And this one gives me the list of all the nodes. Gotcha. I probably should save it somewhere. So Pi2 seems to be good. Right now, so kubectl get nodes. I should only have. Okay, so Pi2 is gone. Pi1 is not ready. Why is it not ready? What is wrong with Pi1? Okay, never mind. Let's do Pi2. So 3, 4 are gone. I'm gonna go back to Pi1 and remove Pi3. And do the same thing with Pi4. Get nodes. So I've got Pi1, which is not ready. What is wrong with Pi1? Let's try to create another cluster with just Pi2, 3, and 4. Try to see if that works on this one, because maybe Pi1 is the one having some problems. Okay, let's try that. So here I need to do. Oh yeah, no, I don't have it here. So that was sudo micro K8S dot add dash node. And the wired connection is this one. So let's do that for Pi2, and it will connect to Pi4. So they are on the same switch. That should go pretty fast. I'm going to do the same thing with Pi3. 6885. And where is Pi3? It's here. And just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to stop micro Kubernetes on Pi 1. Okay, so waiting for this node to finish joining the cluster. That's good. Pi 3, same thing. And Pi 4, that was... so that was micro kubernetes.kube cuddle get node, I think. So right now I only have Pi 4. Good. So on Pi 1 it should be stopped. So if I try to run kubectl.getNode, I should have an error. Let's try that. Not running. Perfect. That's what I wanted. So back to 4. Okay, there is something wrong. It says contacting cluster, waiting for its node to finish joining the cluster. Okay, but when I run my... Oh no. Okay, so I see Pi 2. That's good. Okay, what about Pi 3? 3. Okay, so 3 is here. 3 should appear. Yes, yes it is. And it's currently not ready, but soon it will. Yes, yes it is ready. Okay. So I wanted to do a micro dot status. And I want to see what is currently activated or deactivated. I wonder if it kept the same configuration as it did with the previous cluster or not. In which case I will try to deactivate Portainer and then reactivate it. That is so slow. I wonder why that is that slow. Doesn't make any sense to me. Dang it. I am really getting frustrated now. Okay, so the high availability cluster is available, but everything else is disabled. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, let's try with, so now install and configure. And I wanted to do this micro K8 and I want to enable storage, Portainer and DNS. Ooh, I really thought that that would go much faster and would be much easier. And I just got a notification that I need to disconnect at 1 p.m. my time. So in about 23 minutes. I guess I will be working on Ansible tomorrow then. So micro, Kubernetes, enable DNS, come on. Wakey, wakey. I wonder if there's anything I can do to make it go faster. Are the pies underwater or something? So Kubelite is using quite a bit of CPU on the machines. I'm having a look at top right now on Pi 2, and Kubelite seems to be at least using one of the cores. Okay, Calico node. I have no idea what Calico is. I saw that already before, but okay, enabling DNS. We're making progress. Yep, yeah. I will be installing it. Good idea. Sudo apt get install htop. Okay, htop then. I didn't know it was already. Yeah, so the the nodes seems they seem to be relatively busy. Okay, I'm just gonna exit this. What about this one, Pi 1 right now? Pi 1 should be. Yeah, so Pi 1 is almost idle. Let's bounce. These pies should be they're brand new. I got them this past week, so they are 4B something. 4B with 8 gigs. Agreed. Agreed. That's... I wonder why they... Do you have any idea how I could test what version of the Raspberry Pi I've got? I did an LSCPU at the beginning, and I could see the 4 cores and everything, but or could it be because I'm using, well, I don't know, I'm just throwing ideas out there, but could it be because I'm using Ubuntu server instead of using the Raspberry? Nah, that shouldn't be this slow. Maybe with Ubuntu Core, I would have less things installed and it might be easier for me to run it. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a try with Ubuntu Core. But this is incredibly slow. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Wake up. And what is really surprising is that the nodes Pi 2 doesn't seem to be that busy. Pi 3 is not super busy either. I mean, it's kind of busy, but dang it. And okay. Yeah, you know, if you've got any idea, I might be interested because that's, I agree, that shouldn't be that slow. I wonder if I should maybe deactivate the Wi-Fi and try to run everything, try to force everything to run through the network, maybe. Yeah. So Container has been installed. Okay. Right now, these IPs are the one from the wired network, so I should be connected through the wired network, which makes sense. I tried to connect through them. I wonder if the I will need to disconnect for the day in about 10 minutes because I've got well, as usual on Saturdays I've got something at 1:30. But I will connect back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And in the meantime, I might try to just scrap everything, get get core installed. Now that I've got this, sorry, now that I've got this, that should go a bit faster. It's really annoying because I really wanted to get Kubernetes installed manually so that I know how everything works, and then once everything's fine and dandy, I would try to optimize and do the deployment using Ansible. But yeah, maybe tomorrow I will go and try to do things with Ansible. Look at this. Oh, that would be great. Thanks, Caceres. Much appreciated. Look at this. This is still going on. Let's see. I'm gonna try it. So exit, and I want to connect to Pi 4 instead. Yeah, it is slow, but it's not even doing anything special. Okay, so my idea is that I will try to, so for tomorrow, so later today I will reinstall every Pi with Ubuntu core, so at least it should be even smaller and have less things in memory than Ubuntu server. And I will keep the Wi-Fi deactivated. Yeah, absolutely agreed. That doesn't make any sense to me. Everything, the CPUs are, I mean, we're not even using, we must be using about a quarter of the CPU. The memory is good. There is no swap as should be. So I don't get it. The only thing, there are two potential bottlenecks. One being the I/O on the SD card, which might be something. The other one would be the network. And so right now everything is connected through a wired network. I wonder what kind of SD card I've got. Maybe that is something to do with the SD card, because that doesn't make any sense to be so slow. And if that is the case, I wonder if yeah, good idea. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your help, Caceres, today. Really helped a lot, and I do appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow at around 10 a.m. Eastern time, so I can try again. And as I said, in the meantime, I'm going to reinstall everything using Ubuntu core, keep the Wi-Fi deactivated so that we don't go through the Wi-Fi. And I will let you know if I've got any updates or anything. I might still be playing with this maybe later this afternoon, but I don't have any time. I don't have any precise time. I don't know how long that's going to take me. This thing I've got at 1:30. But yeah, maybe tonight I will be trying to do something. But tomorrow definitely at 10, I should be back. All right. Well, Thank you so much for everything, and talk to you tomorrow, I guess. Have a very good day. Cheers, bye.